Hey there, pen fans. This is Dave with another long-term evaluation of a fountain pen. We have been in the United States with a Edison and Pelican in Germany and a Leonardo in Italy. Now we're going to turn to the Emerald Isle, Ireland. As you can tell, it doesn't look like many other pens. I think the first company to come out with a pen with this general style was Conid with the Bulkfiller. It's definitely seen a surge in designs. Here's some other ones. This is a Gravitas Ultivac, and this is a Cassato, also made by Gravitas, but designed by Cassato. And this is, as you saw in the box, the 50/40 Titan, and this is grade 5 titanium. Now, you will see this model listed on some websites as the full titanium, or perhaps the titanium and steel model. This was part of the first issue, which was a limited edition. There are more available now that aren't numbered. As far as I know, that's the case. They are available now, and that's one of the reasons I chose this pen. This comes in at, I think, 580 euros. I'll put the actual prices down here with the conversion rates. And what makes this pen unusual is this huge ink volume that it has. Another thing is it has a huge number 8 size nib. And then I think the third outstanding feature of this pen is the filling mechanism. So we have this rod here in the middle, and right now the blind cap is twisted all the way in, and that is sealing the ink chamber away from the section. So no ink will flow from here into here. And that's good for air flights or, traveling, throwing this in a bag. Anytime you might feel like you wanted to avoid ink leaking out of the pen. To start writing with it, though, you twist this blind cap this way, and you can see that now the stopper here has opened up, and that now allows ink to flow from the chamber and into the section, which will go out the feed and off the end of the nib onto the paper. So to fill it, though, we continue twisting this way until there's the threads at the top here disengage, and that allows us to pull it all the way here. Now, this little traveler thing here has threads on it, and they thread into this silver portion here. So I pull this out, and then I continue threading, twisting it there, and you can see it seeding into that. Twist a little bit more, and now it will move the aluminum section up at the top, or the steel section actually, and it will twist it, which will unlock it from the top of the barrel of the pen. So I twist a little more, and now I can push it out. And you can see those little ears which engage in that. So now I'm pushing the air out of the pen. Now that we've got it down on this side, we pull up, and now it's sucking ink up into this section here, and we just keep going until we're done, and then we twist the opposite direction that we did before, and we want to hold this over the ink bottle because now the volume of this piston arm is going to be taking up volume in the ink chamber, which will either force out air or ink or both out of the nib. So we want to have that somewhere that we don't mind a little bit of ink spilling out. And then we twist this down all the way and then bring it back for when we want to start writing. And that's it. It's huge. It's about, I think, 3.5. We'll do a test here in a moment. 3.5 grams or milliliters of ink. The section has a slight taper in the middle, and gently cradles your fingers. The section itself, because it's titanium and that could be rather slick, has micro grooves ground into it, which help with some of the grippiness of it. And you can hear them. These grooves are so fine, though, that I don't feel like it interferes with the grooves in my fingerprints, which has a tendency to bother me with some other pens. As I mentioned, it has a number 8 size nib. It is from Bock, and you can use a Bock 380 replacement if you like. It's paired with a Ebonite feed. I have purchased a titanium Bock extra fine to use with this, and I did use it for quite a few days that way, actually a couple of weeks that way, on and off. And I liked it, but for this test I wanted to use the original nib. Now this is a fine nib, however I feel like it writes a little bit on the thicker side, closer to medium, in fact maybe even a little bit above medium. Although it doesn't really look like it from here, it does have a tendency to spread. And that might actually be because of the excessive ink flow. We'll go through and test some of those things over the next few weeks and also take a quick look at it during the writing sample. So for now, let's move on to size comparisons and then do our measurements. We'll be using Rhodia 80 GSM. The pen comes uncapped in 1 3/4 turn. It posts without threads very securely. I find the balance is better without it capped. Okay, so that's it for the 50/40 Titan as far as the introduction is concerned. I'm going to use this between 4 and 6 weeks, barring any problems with it. And I'll have another review at the end to kind of give you my conclusions and any interesting facts that showed up while I was using this pen. One of the things I'll say right off the bat is I'm noticing that these line widths are still a little bit on the thick side, but not nearly as thick as I was experiencing with some other papers. So as you know, I'm testing it with a variety of different types of inks, and combining that with a variety of different papers, we'll have a complete matrix there. This is the Rhodia paper, and this turned out to be one of the thinner lines in my previous test with papers. So I am getting probably the best line width variation out of all the papers that I'll be testing with, as you're seeing it here. I also like to mention that this nib is already really well tuned to be a reverse writer. I've noticed this before when I was using this kind of on a sporadic basis, and it does have a very fine line when it's in reverse writing that doesn't have any scratchy feeling in it at all. It feels like it was intended to be an extra fine nib. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this part of the review. If you are watching this at some point in the future, the conclusion of the review will be up here in the right-hand corner. If you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching.